ready. He wants to go straight to questions. Who's up? Coach, right here on the front to your right.
Coach, can you tell us a little bit about transfer Nick Starkel, what you've seen from him, and what you expect him to bring to this team?
Well, I think when you look at our quarterback room in general and the additions that we've brought in and how active and how aggressive we were this offseason says values of where our football team is right now. From the addition of Ben Hicks in January and allowing John Stephen Jones to continue his development. And we knew there was a possibility with a successful baseball season that Connor could choose to go baseball. So we had to be active. And Nick Starkel was someone that I've known for quite some time as far as recruiting. His skill set, his level of confidence. He's played in this league. He's won in this league. And I believe, a lot of people thought he was going to be a starter at another school in this league. And so to be able to bring him in, a young man that's has graduated and has 2 years left to play, will only intensify the battle in our quarterback room that's much improved.
Coach, over here to your left. The camera.
Hey, Coach, you have a lot of talented running backs, but I want to ask about Monty Spivey, new to campus. What have you seen from him so far? What do you like, and how can he also improve? Thank you.
Well, with Monty, as well with all of our freshmen that have joined us in early June, he's done a really good job of fitting in and grasping as much offense as he possibly can at this point through the meetings and the player-led workouts that we've had this summer. I anticipate him to be a force this year to help us out, an area that will help create depth. Obviously played in an incredible program and won at a very high level in the state of Alabama, and we're excited about having him on our team.
Coach, to your right against the wall.
Hey, Coach. Michael Bradden, Saturday Down South. We just had Sosa in here, and I was asking him about the level of buy-in on the team. I know he's one guy that you basically told, go to the NFL if you're not going to come in and buy in. Can you talk about the level of buy-in from your players going year 2 in your program?
Well, I think with anything you do the second time around, you're going to be better at it. You're more comfortable, and I think you see that with our players and our staff. They're comfortable with us. They understand what the culture is. They understand what the expectations are. They understand for what it's like to play for the Hogs and the passion level that our fans have for Razorbacks and Razorback football. And to be able to when they step on that field, that classroom, that they represent someone far more than just themselves. And as with Sosa and all of our guys, coming into year 2, if you're not all in, don't waste your time. And we've got a tremendous buy-in. Our culture is stronger than it's ever been. It's something we work on consistently and daily, and very proactive in the approaches that we take. And what I have seen is you see a football team that is player-driven. And I think you see that with the 3 young men that we brought in here today. They exemplify what you want your culture to be about. And so I'm very confident in where we are as a buy-in level in our program.
Coach in the middle on the 3rd row.
Coach, just curious about this quarterback battle. What's the structure? What's the game plan? When would you like to have a starter named? How will reps be distributed? All of that. Yeah,
I would like to have a starter named as soon as we could. Earlier in camp, if it presents itself, we want a clear-cut winner to come out of this thing, a guy that our team can continue to rally around. I know this is what I do know for sure, that the workouts that have been player-led this summer from all of our quarterbacks has been as strong and as good as it's ever been. And that's listening to defensive players talk. So I think what you have found with all of our quarterbacks is the leadership that they've all commanded and elevating everybody else on your team, and that's what you want. So we're going to put them in positions during fall camp, and they're all going to get their share of reps, but we want to try to narrow it down as quickly as we could.
Coach, right here, front row.
Drew DeArmond, WCZN Radio, Huntsville, Alabama coach. I know the first year was difficult, changing the culture of the program and putting your stamp on it. But talk about the job your staff did as a whole, recruiting at a very high level in the top 20 class. And then second part of the question, how much progress defensively do you think John Chavis and that group can make this year?
Well, I believe that you can judge a lot about someone when times are at their toughest. And it's more so of how you respond and not back down from the problems at hand. And our staff, our players have done a tremendous job of responding, of making every day count. And every is our motto, and everything matters. And 235 days ago when we started this second-year journey and building on what was established in year one, we knew that yes, it was tough, but it was necessary. We had to go through that to get to where we are in this program today, to get to the buy-in level of where we are today. So I definitely believe and confident that the progress that we saw happening within the building last year, and the outside didn't see it, but within our building there was progress being made. And that progress, our fans will be able to see that on Saturdays starting this fall. I believe that the pieces are in place defensively. We recruited extremely well. And again, a way that our guys have responded, our staff responded off of a difficult year last year is we went out and signed one of the best classes in the history of our school. We have a lot to sell. We have an opportunity to come in here and play for a fan base that's passionate. And I believe we've done that. We address some areas of needs, both the offensive and defensive line, that have to be able to allow us to compete in this conference at a level that we want to be at. And so I believe that the pieces in place defensively with in particular our defensive line, the depth there to allow us to continue to grow and improve off of last year in all areas. We played a lot of young guys in the secondary last year, but that when you do that, mistakes happen, but you gain valuable experience, and expect that to pay off this year.
Coach to your left, standing by the camera.
Hey, Coach, Jacques Doucet, WAFB TV. You talked about progress. You had a game against LSU last year that was closer than expected, kind of right down to the wire. Is that kind of what you're talking about, and can you speak about going to Baton Rouge this year?
Well, I think when you look at what we're trying to do, we're trying to build a program that's going to sustain and be consistent over time. This isn't about building just a winning football team. This is far more than that. This is about building a program. And when you build a program, you talk about being a consistent winner, week in and week out. And when you do that, and winning championships, and when you do that, you have to develop champions both in the locker room and in that office. And that's something that our staff has done a great job of developing. We competed last year, but there was times that it didn't happen. We weren't good enough. We didn't perform. We made too many mistakes. Whatever that might have been, I anticipate moving forward this year, starting with game one against Portland State, because that's really the game that matters the most right now. But as we travel down to LSU in late November, just the impact that game has on recruiting, that game has on our season, our guys will be excited and they'll be ready to go.
Coach to your right in the camera bank.
Coach, you had some players enroll early in this class. How many in this class are you going to be counting on that first Saturday against Portland State?
We've got 52 freshmen that are either redshirt freshmen, true freshmen, or walk-ons. Another 28 sophomores. So this is a young football team. Part of the reason why I brought 3 seniors that are the leaders of our team is because of their importance of them guiding this football program. We got 16 seniors this year. So we're going to be young, and we're going to play a lot of freshmen. How many, what's the exact number, that I don't know. But I do know that the way that our players, or the way that our staff recruited and the caliber of players that we've brought in addition to the development of the players already on our roster, I anticipate that these young guys are going to come in and push to play and push to start. And so it'll be interesting battles at not just the quarterback position, but all positions in fall camp.
In the middle, coach, third row.
I'm trying to paraphrase Sosa, but he said something to the effect of, we've been lying asleep and now it's time to make the bed and get up. It sounds like something you might say. Is that one of yours?
Well, you know, our guys have done a tremendous job of leading this team from the time we walked off the field at Missouri. And so they set the standard for our program. The way they had come to work every day, the way they approached this summer workouts, the first, second, third, fourth quarter phase of our program, they set the standard. We know what we want to demand, but at the end of the day, it's them. And as I've shared with them before, there's nothing wrong with lying in the weeds and just being passed by and just be ready to strike when you're ready to go. So.
Okay, coach, again, middle section, third row.
Coach, you lost 3 starters, senior starters on the offensive line, but your numbers are a lot better. Can you just talk about the competition there and the overall health? Is the offensive line going to be improved this year?
Well, that definitely is an area that we focused in on recruiting. We played the year with 8 scholarship offensive linemen. Your number needs to be 15. So we were heavy in recruiting both offensive and defensive lines. We anticipate taking it in somewhere around 17 into fall camp. That's going to allow us to have options. But the improvement in our offensive line is absolutely critical to our success this year. And they understand that. When you talk to our offensive linemen and the way that they've rallied around each other, I'm very excited about where that group is. And they understand the importance that they play in this year's season.
Coach, second row, middle.
Hey, Coach. You've talked a lot about leadership previously, so I'm just wondering, are there any freshmen that have come in and kind of taken on that leadership position, or maybe even some sophomores from last year that kind of said, you know, hey, we got to step up, we've got to fill these positions?
You know, there really have. You would expect that when you bring in guys that want to compete to play. And what we've found more than any is the young guys that we have brought in have helped push the older guys. And it's made the older guys realize that, hey, you're going to take our lead. Here, we feel you. We hear you. But we're all one Razorback. And we've been in this program longer than you have. And it's our time now to leave our legacy. And that's what I've shared with our senior class. You've got 121 days from the day we start and report to leave your legacy. What's it going to be? And I think that our freshmen have done a really good job. Trey Knox is a young man that has done a good job of coming in and not just leading by being vocal, but leading by work ethic. And so you're starting to see a lot of those young guys really step to the forefront and do that. You know, some of these young guys that have came in January more in particular.
Final question, Coach, middle section, third row.
Yeah, Coach Van Horn says, I don't know if he told you, but he said he tells coaches that they may think they know the SEC, but until they live a year in it, they really don't know what they're getting into. Did he warn you, and do you feel differently now, second year going through the conference?
Well, you're obviously more confident coming into year 2, just from the experiences that we've gone through as a staff. We've got a lot of coaches on our roster that had gone through the SEC, and I knew it was going to be tough getting in here, but we're going through a year. You realize that it is a line of scrimmage league, and you better have depth in both the offense and defensive lines, and you also realize that experience plays a valuable role in this league as well, as you develop a program. But I believe going into year 2, it's a comfort level from all is a lot stronger than it would, and that's just natural.
Coach, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Good luck.